left is Will Artino. Our right is Isaiah Zero. Start with statement from head coach Creighton.
I'm pleased to get a win on an afternoon when we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. You know, we're a team built on shooting, so when you don't shoot it well, it's going to look a little rugged and ragged at times, and I think that was the case today. To Chicago State's credit, you know, they kept us thinking when we had the ball in our hands with some, you know, changes in their pressure and where they trapped and some man and some zone, and you know, we got caught standing a little flat-footed at times. So not the ideal team to play on one-day prep this early in the season, but I thought we settled in and had a couple of really good runs. We were finally able to get Rosenberg slowed down. Isaiah, I thought, did a great job on him when we switched him on to him with 12 or 13 minutes left in the game. So sometimes you got to win ugly, and tonight was one of those nights.
Questions for student athletes? So, Will, what are you most proud of? Your career high 20 points or your career high 5 steals?
I'm most happy with the win. Getting the win, definitely. I mean, when they started making a comeback, I knew that as a starter I didn't play very well coming out of my first shift, and Coach Mack put me back in, and I knew that was my job to bring back some energy to this team. I was just happy that we were able to put together a little run.
I guess, Isaiah, what did you see in that, maybe that first 6 minutes of that second half that you guys weren't doing, and what did you have to do to get it going?
They caught us on our heels. They came out and they threw the first punch, but we, like Coach Mack said, settled down, and I think we kind of gathered our balance again, and we just had to be strong with the ball. We came out and we were just throwing it around real quick because of their pressure, and really we just had to take our time.
Some of that pressure led to maybe some quick shots.
I think it led to quick shots and some turnovers that are uncharacteristic of this team.
I guess that's one of the things you talked about after the game the other night about how important it is to kind of set that same kind of tempo to start the second half.
Yeah, that was something that Coach Max talked about us with both of the games this year, with both half times. And the first game we were great with it, and this game we came out flat, and it's just figuring out what to do and how to get each of us mentally ready to go and to start the second half like we started game off.
Was it encouraging, though, that you guys were able to get it turned around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were able to get it around and get it back up to 20-some for the most part and hold them off.
I agree with Will. You know, it shows that, you know, we're not just going to give in to teams' pressure, and so that's a good sign for this team.
Toby hit some big shots today. Obviously, led the buzzer in the first half and then the second, and then making that run. What did you see out of him that kind of looked like he was confident enough to knock down some big shots?
I think it was good just to see him come out and shoot the ball well again today. You know, last game might have been a little rough for him, maybe just first game jitters or something, but for him to come out and hit a couple jumpers to start the game and that couple threes that, you know, were big-time threes. So just to see him that he wasn't hanging his head from the last game and coming back and play how he did today was good to see.
I think just the confidence. You know, it was nice. You know, we've been telling him if he's open, he's got to shoot it. And that's what he does. He shoots the ball. So it was good to see.
Obviously, foul trouble kind of forced you guys to play some different lineup, different locations. How do you see you guys handling that? And I guess, is that encouraging that you can throw different combinations out there and still get results?
Yeah, that's something that, you know, we don't, like I said earlier with you, we don't necessarily have five in, 5 out in practice, and we're always constantly rotating different guards and bigs, going smaller and bigger. And I think that it's paying off because when we're in the game together, you know, we're used to playing with each other. As of last year, we weren't necessarily as used to that, and I think it's starting to bring our cohesiveness together and making it easier to play together in situations where we need to use those different lineups.
I agree with Will. You know, in practice we kind of do different lineups, and I think that's gotten us prepared for the game. And, you know, the people coming off the bench, you know, did a great job with that.
Looking forward with Oklahoma coming in on Wednesday, what are the things you guys see that need to be ironed out to kind of be, I guess, ready for that challenge?
First off, I know for the big statement, we need to box out better. I mean, both their bigs are extremely talented. We haven't really watched much film, but from what I've heard, Coach Mack just said one of them led the Big 12 in rebounding. I know they got a big transfer that he was cleared yesterday or 2 days ago and averaged some big numbers at Houston last year. And so as for us, we need to take care of it on the boards.
We gotta watch, a lot of film, but we gotta communicate on defense. I thought it got better from last game on Friday to today, and it'll continue to get better as we work on it more. But we just gotta stay in what we do.
Talk about that defensive challenge of you moving on to Rosenberg there and kind of slowing him down.
Yeah, I had told Mac we were just kind of in the flow of the game, and I told him I wanted to guard him. I tried to do the best I could just to make him take tough shots, just kind of slow. When he's got it going like that, you just try to slow him down however you can, and I did what I could, and it was a team effort too.
Anything else for these guys?
Thanks.
Continue with questions for Coach Rickman.
What did you see in that first 5-6 minutes in the second half that probably caused you to
I thought we were very casual. Some of our screening activity, our cuts, our inbound passes, just we weren't crisp. And again, credit to Chicago State. They came out, they were aggressive, and we weren't, and that's troubling, but it's also something that I think we can learn from.
Chicago State went on a couple big runs there, and then you called timeout. You guys came back out and settled down and really kind of answered back with a run of their own.
Yeah, I think that Chicago State only scored on, if I'm not mistaken, 3 straight possessions twice in the game. It was both in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. So, we were able to put together enough defensive stops, and let's be honest, Glover surprised us. He is not someone that had been a main offensive force for them. The last thing I anticipated was him making 5 out of 8 threes. Against Arizona State the other night, Rosenberg was the only player that made a 3 for them. So, we had to switch our defense on him as the game went on. But they hit some big shots, and they forced us into turnovers that are very, as Isaiah said, very uncharacteristic of our team.
Frontcourt players, especially the starters, Toby and kind of made some key plays when they got in the second half. How big was that spark they gave you?
Well, it was huge for us, and we walk a fine line, or I walk a fine line as the head coach. We're missing open threes, and that's what we do. So you have to be careful about putting the handcuffs on guys that this is what we brought them here to do. And just because you've taken 4 quick ones and they're open and you missed them, you don't want them to be tentative. Now, having said that, last year if we didn't score for 4 or 5 possessions, we kind of knew the rank of who was going to touch the ball. If we didn't score for 4 or 5, Doug was going to touch it. And there's a lot of times Grant Gibbs is shot faking with nobody within 10 feet of him, and he's turning down open shots because we hadn't scored for 3 or 4 possessions. Doesn't mean Doug's going to shoot it, but we need to get him a touch. We don't really know what that order is on this team yet. And I'm not sure that the order won't change from game to game. And tonight, Will had it going. Toby had it going. And, a key play in the game, Toby turned down a wide-open 3 at the top of the key, shot fake, made one more pass, it went into Will for a layup. And, that's just guys understanding, okay, where does the ball need to go now? Isaiah's hit a couple in a row, let's get him another one. Austin's got it going, let's give him some space to operate. Toby's hit a few threes, or Zach or Will have been good on the post, we need to get it back in there. That's going to change from game to game for us with this team. And it's this group of guys getting used to, all right, who needs the ball right now? Because I've given them the green light. We all know that. If they got an open 3, they're supposed to shoot it. We have to understand situational basketball, time and score, and who needs to get the ball in certain situations, and I think we'll get better at that. But through our first 2 games against outside competition that didn't count, and our game the other night, we haven't had shooting stretches like this, so this is the first time we've really been challenged with it. And after the timeout, we said we need to get some touches in there. We might have to turn one down early and get a reversal and see if we can't make something happen on the inside. So to their credit, they were able to do that, but that's going to be a work in progress for this group.
Will was talking about how you use a lot of different lineups in practice. Guys are getting used to playing with a lot of different groups. How much do you see that being a benefit?
It's good and bad. You know, I think sometimes it's hard to get in the flow if you're not playing as many minutes, and it's a little harder to evaluate when you're not playing groups together for a lengthy amount of time. I think we went with a group more today. Some of it was forced by foul trouble the first half, and with that lead, I just decided to be safe. But it has to be a strength of ours, and as I said, it's who's going to lead us in scoring could change on a nightly basis. I just think that's who we are, and that's who we're going to be. You know, Austin obviously is a very capable scorer, and he's going to need to score for us. Devin didn't score particularly well tonight, but Toby and Will and Isaiah were really good. So we've got to make sure 2 or 3 guys are going, and then we have to make sure they get the ball.
Isaiah kind of touched on this in the close game from Central Arkansas that, you know, his initial diagnosis for his injury wasn't good. And I guess for a coach, how good is it to have that guy back on the floor and what he was able to do today, especially when they had a player going on the other end?
Well, you know, he just brings an intelligence to our team with the way he plays the game. He's, you know, it's obvious that he grew up around basketball. He's got a great understanding, just the questions he asked on a day-to-day basis in film sessions or in practice. He's got a great feel for the game of basketball, and he allows things to come to him. And, you know, I have enough confidence in him defensively that, you know, he's going to be in the right spot. And he may not always be athletic enough to do what he has to do, but it won't be because he's not in the proper position and he's not following part of the game plan. So, you know, I've got obviously a tremendous amount of confidence in him, and he can play a couple different positions for us. And, you know, I think he's just going to get better and better and better as time goes on and as he gets back 100% from the injury. But, you know, he was playing really well at the end of last year when he went down, and you know, he's worked really hard to get himself back to where he is today.
Isaiah and Austin, you got some talk about it in the first half, and you called on Tyler Clement instead. What does he show you in practice and how he connects best?
You know, Tyler just shows up every day, goes to work, keeps his mouth shut, and plays hard. And in that situation, I just felt we needed another ball handler against their pressure. And, you know, with Isaiah and Austin being 2 of probably our 3 best ball handlers, I thought we needed another one out there. And, you know, he made a great play at the end of the half just to have a calmness about him to kind of let things happen and then find Toby and make sure we get a good shot. And, you know, I chose not to take a timeout in that situation, and, you know, Tyler made me look more intelligent than I really am.
After the exhibition game, you kind of called for some more production from your big men. Will has kind of done that in the first 2 games so far. What do you think about him?
He's played really well, and he's been active on the boards. And you know, we're going to start seeing bigger front lines starting Wednesday, and you know, I think we're going to need all 3 of them to produce. And they all bring different things to the table. And it's as I said, what I'm asking him to do is very, very difficult. To play 3 or 4 minute stretches and maybe sit for 8 minutes of game time, which could be 30 minutes of real time. It's hard to go back in and get your motor going. So I understand what I'm asking him to do isn't totally fair, but it's where we're at this point in time. And obviously what Will has done these first 2 games is you know, separated himself somewhat from the other 2.
You ever get much in a game?
Season maybe.
You brought up Wednesday. Talk a little bit about that challenge.
Well, you know, I think this is I think they're a team that has a chance to, if they can stay healthy, make a deep run. You know, and the NCAA tournament's all about matchups, and you know, the Big 12 obviously is very good this year. But I think this is Coach Kruger's best team since he's been there, and getting Thomas eligible. I wish he would have waited till Thursday, but you know, we're going to see 2 very good rebounders in the front line, and he and Spangler. And then their guard court, they have 3 guys that can score the basketball, that are solid with the basketball, and they're going to defend. They'll defend the heck out of you for 40 minutes. So it'll be one of the better teams that's come to Omaha in in a while. I mean, they're every bit as good as, you know, some of Villanova and the good Wichita State teams and the teams that have rolled through here the last few years. This Oklahoma team's every bit as good as any of them we played. Sounded good when I scheduled it. You know, we need to find. There's a lot of things we have to learn about our team, and as I said, this season is going to be a process for a while until roles start to be more clearly defined, and you know that's going to happen over time, I think. And you know, playing somebody that's capable of punching you in the nose, I think is healthy for us at this time of the year. So. You know, we'll see what happens, but you know, I know our guys will prepare hard and be anxious to play the game on Wednesday night. And you know, the reality of it is we need to rock this house like we did during the Big East season last year, Wednesday night, because we're going to need that 6 man against a very good basketball team. I was watching Chicago State film and couldn't sleep, so it just added to my restlessness, I guess. But you know, heck, if you're going to play them and you want to have a chance to beat them, you want to try to beat them at full strength. But it'll be a fun night for basketball in Omaha because it'll be a great game.
Anything else?
Thank you.